Good evening. Welcome to the Municipality of South Dundas Council meeting for Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. I'd like to call the meeting to order with a motion. Let it be resolved that the February 18th, 2026 Council meeting of the Municipality of South Dundas now be opened at 6:02 p.m. Moved by Councillor Ward, seconded by Councillor Vino. All in favor? Carried. Councillor Smith sends his regrets tonight, unable to attend our meeting. But before we go to confirmation of agenda, I'd just like to start off with just a quick note I'd like to read. On behalf of the Municipality of South Dundas, I extend our deepest condolences to the community of Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, following the devastating tragedy that has changed their community and other communities around Canada. Our hearts are heavy as we learn of the lives lost and the many others who have been deeply affected by the senseless act of the violence. To the families grieving the lost loved ones, to those recovering from injuries, to the students, staff, and first responders at Tumbler Ridge, please let us know our thoughts are with you during this unimaginable time. Like Tumbler Ridge, South Dundas is a rural community where neighbors know one another. Our families are connected through schools and communities. We understand the unique bond that exists in our towns. In fact, I think we're almost the exact same population of that community. As a sign of solidarity and compassion, all of those impacted, flags in South Dundas Municipality were lowered to a half-mast to honor these victims. South Dundas stands with Tumbler Ridge. We mourn alongside you and hold our entire community close as you go through this difficult times. Okay, moving to confirmation of agenda. Additions, deletions, amendments to tonight's agenda. Clerk LeBrun.
Thank you, Mayor Broad. So given Councillor Smith's absence tonight, we're going to recommend deferring item 11E, which is the plaza discussion item, to our next meeting.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any other additions, deletions, amendments? Seeing none, I have a motion. Let it resolve that the Council of Municipality of South Dundas approve the agenda as amended. Moved by Councillor Vino, seconded by Councillor Ward. All in favor? Carried. Okay, number 4, disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing none tonight, since 11E is off the list. Adoption of minutes. Regular council meeting of February 4th. Any errors or omissions to those minutes? Seeing none, I have a motion. Let it resolve that the minutes of the following meeting be adopted as presented. February 4th, 2026 council meeting. Moved by Councillor Vino, seconded by Councillor Ward. All in favor? Carried. I don't have any delegations or petitions tonight. We'll move right to action requests. So 7A, TS 2026-01, 2026, roadside grass cutting. Director Hyman, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So in front of you, you'll find the first of many to come across your desk for tender results within the municipality of South Dundas. So the first one I bring forward is for our roadside grass cutting. This is a program which we run, which is shared between ourselves, the municipality, and a contractor, which offers the support to cut the grass along the roadways on the east side of Highway 31 to our east boundary. So due to the number of kilometers of roadway within the municipality, a second contractor, as I mentioned, is needed to aid with our grass cutting. The municipality also owns their own mower. So the current way of mowing is we do an initial pass around the top, and then the second pass would be from the top down as deep as we can into the bottom of the ditch lines without one getting stuck or two damaging our equipment and trying to get right to the fence line. So this RFT was issued for a 2-year term for 2026 and 2027, and that myself would regulate the hours of the contractor. The tender was advertised through bids and tenders as well as our municipal website, with 9 bids being received. So during the 2025 roadside grass mowing season, Superior Group, who supplied the lowest bids for tendering at $110 plus HST for 2026 and $115 per hour plus HST for 2027. So the municipality has worked with Superior Group in the past, as they were the contractor of our last contract. So I can answer any questions which you may have at this time.
Questions, comments, council team? Seeing none, I have a motion. Let it be resolved that the Council of Municipality of South Dundas award the tender for roadside grass cutting to the Superior Group for the price of $110 per hour plus HST for 2026 and $115 per hour plus HST for 2027, and that the Director of Transportation be authorized to sign all necessary documents to give effect to the contract. Moved by Councillor Vino, seconded by Deputy Mayor St. Pierre. All in favor? Carried. TS 2026-02, 26 sidewalk replacement repair. Director Hyman.
So thank you, Mayor and Council. So here we go with the tender results number 2. So this tender was issued for our sidewalk replacement program, which we have within the municipality. This year, during the 2026 budget deliberations, staff presented the plan to be in Iroquois, which would be Beach Avenue, along its full duration from Island Park Drive to Elizabeth Drive, and Miller Street on the west side from Dundas to John Street be removed and replaced with standard 1.5 meter wide walking surface. So this sidewalk tender was advertised again through bids and tenders, advertised in our local newspaper and advertised on our municipal website, with 17 companies submitting a bid to do the work. Amazing Construction Ltd. submitted the lowest compliant bid, and the summary of the bids are follows through the chart that I provided. So the municipality has not yet worked with Amazing Construction, but part of their tender requirements were they were to provide 3 references. So I have followed up with the 3 references, and all came back with positive feedbacks that they keep their job site clean, they're prompt, they're on time, they follow within the parameters set out within the previous tenders, and that they were approachable, and if there was an issue, that they responded quickly to solve any problems. So I myself feel confident in awarding this or bringing it forward for your consideration for Amazing Construction. Within the 2026 budget, $230,000 plus HST was budgeted, so this proposed work does fall within the budgeted amount. I can answer any questions which you may have at this time.
Yeah, and thank you for checking the references and getting that data, because that probably would have been our first question. So thank you for that. Questions or comments? Councillor Ward.
Thanks, Mayor. So I just am curious, so since it's so significantly under budget, is the idea to then put that money into reserve for sidewalks next year, or is there a plan, like can you do more sidewalks with this company? Was there a provisional?
Through you, Mayor Broad. As far as more work, once we complete the Beach Avenue and Miller, all our sidewalks will then be completed, which we winter maintain. So then after that, that would be then the council's discretion on if we wanted to add new sidewalks that aren't previously maintained, or with the help of finance, the surplus will go, with your help, please.
Through you, Mayor Broad. If the funds aren't used, they'll go back to its original source. I believe, I can't remember if it's OCIF or CCBF, but it will remain there, and it can be budgeted next year for whatever council wishes, if it's roads or sidewalks at that time.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, and to be consistent with what I say at county council all the time, every time we get a tender under budget, especially in March, let's just see how the whole year goes. We don't even know where we'll be. So I think it's important to hold that till we have a better fiscal idea later in the year, so we can make decisions then to use it or save it, one or the other. Director?
So again, through Mayor Broad, there is the new sidewalk which still needs to be installed on Rooney Street, which comes out of the Vailcraft subdivision. That will be a joint venture with Vailcraft themselves and ourselves, the municipality. Our portion will be from County Road 2 to Billings Avenue West, where that's our responsibility, would be to put in the new sidewalk there, and then Vailcraft will look after the sidewalk north of Rooney into their new development, and they're going to look after the approach or the landing pad, if you call it that, at Highway 2, where the push button will be for the crosswalk. So there's still some work for 2027 when it comes to sidewalks.
Very good. I have a motion, let it be resolved that the Council of Municipality of Dundas award tender TS 2026-02 for the sidewalk replacement and repair to Amazing Construction Limited in the amount of $139,580,000 plus HST And the Director of Transportation and Clerk be authorized to sign all necessary documents to give effect to this contract. Moved by Councilor Vino, seconded by, sorry,
So the action request is for 139, but it says it's 157. I
yeah,
just,
that's the HST, correct?
no. Plus HST.
Yeah, so the 139, 580 plus the HST comes to
It's
157.
157. Oh, okay, we're just not, okay, thank you.
Yeah, the Director of Transportation and Clerk be authorized to sign all necessary documents to give effect to this contract. So moved by Councilor Vino, second by Councilor Ward, all in favor? Carried. Seven C, TS 2026-03, handy hitch grader attachment. Director Hyman.
Thank you for Mayor and Council. So this was not a budgeted item. However, I think it would be a great idea or a great program to introduce in partnership with our gravel roads program. So the municipality of South Dundas maintains approximately 57 kilometers of gravel roads that require regular grading to ensure safe and passable conditions for residents and emergency services. Currently, the gravel road maintenance is performed by us, the municipality, with municipal-owned equipment. So the handy hitch, which I'm presenting to you tonight, it's a 3-point hitch attachment. It's essentially a set of Packer wheels that you could see. I attached a picture for it. So that once the road has been, its final pass has been done, then the operator would then lower these compaction wheels and it would essentially pack the road. It would seal the road and make it tight and easily passable for vehicles. It would eliminate the washboarding, which happens when you're making a turn off of a hard surface road onto a gravel road. As vehicles accelerate, they tend to make that washboarding or choppy effect. So what this attachment will do is it's attached to our grader, so the operator's got full view of it. And when it goes on down on the ground, that's when the compaction happens. We can help maintain the profile of the road, keep the proper percentage to help drain the water from the road. It makes a more solid surface, easily passable by vehicles, and it tends to reduce potholes because once it's packed in place. And that's where you want the gravel to be. The municipality has put a pause to the gravel program for the next 3 years, so there'll be no fresh gravel on. So this will be a way to keep the gravel on the road without it scattering into the ditches as it has been in previous years because the road's not been packed. So this is a used piece of machinery which is locally in our neighboring municipality. It's just by chance that we saw this, and in speaking with the CAO, we thought that this would be a great opportunity as a trial program to try it out at a relatively minimal cost. So the purchase of the handy hitch was not budgeted, as I mentioned earlier, and as an opportunity to purchase a used piece of machinery recently identified to be used as a trial. For reference, the purchase of a new handy hitch attachment would be close to $40,000. Staff is recommending taking the funds from the roads reserve for the purchase of this installation. So I can answer any questions which you may have.
Councilor Vino?
Through you, Mayor. Just a couple questions. I know it's relatively inexpensive versus a new one as it's being used. Two questions. The dollar figure here, is that the final dollar figure? Because does our grader already have the equipment on it to receive this piece of machinery, or will we have to add a 3-point hitch and hydraulic and all that? And B, there's a lot of wheels, a lot of tires, and a lot of bearings, it looks like, on that. So, like, is there any refurbishment work that will immediately have to happen, assuming we were to purchase this, and new tires, new bearings, and all that kind of stuff? So is there more costs that involved?
So through you, Mayor Brown, to Councilor Vino. So this cost, the $6,500 plus HST, is for the purchase. So we'll still need to attach it to our grader. That's going to be done locally at the local machine shop. We got a price of under $5,000, so it needs an extra hydraulic hose added to the back because this unit lifts, but it also side shifts. So we need to add another hydraulic hose to allow for the side shifting. The tires, when I went to inspect it, the tires look to be in good shape. The frame is straight. There's no other bends or cracks that we noticed upon inspection.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, thank you, and through you, Mayor Broad. I can't argue on the fact that it seems like it's a good purchase. Our level of service obviously will be increased due to it. From my perspective, I think there's a bigger picture here that's kind of catching my eye. Is, Mayor Broad, you just the ink isn't really even dry on finalizing the budget, and I'm looking at this agenda tonight, and we're going to be pushing an additional $20,000 of ask when we're only 2 meetings away from finalizing the budget. I would love to have seen all this stuff come forward at that time, so we could have properly budgeted. So I'm hoping this isn't a trend that we're going to keep seeing throughout the year, because again, I think we need to be tight on our budget. There's a reason why we go through the budget deliberations, but I do agree with this one that it will increase the level of service, so I'm okay with that. But I'm hoping we keep a good picture on the budget moving forward. Again, that's from my perspective. Thank you.
Councilor Vino?
And just one other one, I guess, just for, we're talking about spending money on this, but would it be fair to say that, we're holding off on adding new gravel to the roads for the next 3 years? Would it be fair to say that this could potentially even extend that further, or like, what we spend on this, we may save on some granular down the road, is what I'm asking. Or for transparency for the people watching.
Yeah,
Through you, Mayor Broad, to Councilor Vino, I wish I had that magic ball and I could tell you that. I have seen these work. They work great in my previous career. Not all of them, but the majority of the graders had these. And just that finished product that it just leaves a nice sealed roadway, again, which helps shed the water off. So we're not getting that washboarding, and typically potholes don't reproduce, so or as quickly. So I'm hoping that, yes, that we're putting the pause on for 3 years. So hopefully maybe we can get 4 years, but it'll be a year over year.
Yeah, and I do know, being at the County Council Committee of the Whole meeting last Monday, it was very clear to us from the farmers of Glengarry, Stormont, and Dundas that their equipment is getting bigger and heavier, and more attention is going to be needed in our roadways, and that was a clear message to us. So if this helps in that way, is we have a big ag community, and I'm sure the few gravel roads we do have connect all those farms together. So I appreciate this could be a good benefit, and I realize that obviously this came out of the blue, this item for sale, hence why we're seeing it, or we probably wouldn't have seen it at all. So other comments? All right. I have a motion, let it be resolved that the Council of Municipality of South Dundas approve the purchase of the user handy hitch grader attachment from S&S Equipment and Supply in the amount of $6,500 plus HT to be funded from the Roads Reserve, and that the clerk and director of transportation be authorized to sign all necessary documents to give effect to the contract. Moved by Deputy Mayor St. Pierre, seconded by Councillor Ward. All in favor? Carried. Okay, D. CS 2026-03, stop up and close road allowance, Noodle Bush Road. Clerk LeBrun.
Thank you, Mayor Broad, and to council. So we were approached by a property owner who has requested to purchase an unmaintained road allowance, approximately 6 acres, located between 2 farm parcels that they already own off Noodlebush Road. So since the road serves no municipal purpose, the owner holds the land on both sides. We are recommending that council declare it surplus and begin the disposal process. So to remind council and members of the public what that process looks like, council would pass a resolution tonight or not to declare it surplus. We would provide public notice, post a sign for 20 days, mail out the notice to the property owners within 60 meters. The CAO would negotiate the terms of the sale, and council would give final approval. And all legal survey costs, advertising costs are paid by the buyer. So there's a few decisions, or I guess direction that we're looking for tonight. One is, do we want to request an appraisal on the property? Our disposition of land policy does exempt road allowances from being sold to the abutting property owner from the appraisal. So another option council can consider is to use a value based on previous surveys that we've done with comparable rates to determine a sale price. Or perhaps council wants to just do a nominal fee, recognizing that the land has little value. There is a culvert, a drain culvert in poor condition. Now, that assessment has been provided by the property owner. Our staff have not been out to, I guess, investigate the condition of the condition of the culvert. But we would like to, I guess, know if council would like us to replace it before, repair and replace it before, knowing that we would have to go and investigate it and give it an assessment, or if we would sell it as is. So the resolution's before you tonight, but happy to answer any questions, and perhaps council can give me a little bit of direction on the appraisal. Thank you.
Questions, comments? Councilor Reno?
Just on the as is or replace, I would prefer to sell it as is, just because our staff doesn't have time to go in and do that. And if it's going to be the new owner's responsibility anyways, I think that. And then I don't know if we need to spend the time on an appraisal on this myself, especially if we're going to sell it as is. I would just look for some comparables and come up with a fair number between the potential buyer and us, and move forward that way. That would be the way I'd look at this.
Question for you, Councilor Vino. Is this used as a snowmobile trail?
Where's the map? I don't think so.
And I only asked that for there is a reason why I asked for information. When I attend annual general meetings of the snowmobile clubs, such as Nation Valley and other ones, they always ask me or remind me, now don't be selling road allowances when there are snowmobile trails without having other plans. So I was more curious. Yeah. With Nation Valley, yeah, okay.
Another,
They can comment.
yeah, and
Right.
I think to your point, Mayor Broad, if there was a snowmobile trail, I think it would already hit both their properties, because their properties go right up to that other unmaintained road allowance.
Yeah. Very good. Any other questions or comments? Okay, you're fine with it? Okay, good. Yep. Yeah, so I have the motion. I think I think we're agreeing with Councillor Vino's direction at this point. Yep. Okay. I have a motion. Let it be resolved that the Council of Municipality of South Dundas declare the municipal road allowance between parcel number 05060010354000 PIN 661370224 and parcel number 0506001003158000 PIN 33170226 as surplus, and prepare stop up and close bylaw. And that the staff are directed to proceed with disposition process in accordance with policy 17, sale of disposition of land. Moved by Councillor Vino, seconded by Councillor Ward. All in favor? Carried. CS 2026-04, 2026 Community Free Tree Days, municipal partnerships with South Nation Conservation Authority. Crystal.
Thank you, Mayor Broad, and to council. So as council's aware, SNC runs their annual community tree giveaway program, and they have been doing for a number of years. South Dundas gets $500 worth of seedlings from SNC, and we have a program where you would reserve the tree online and you would come and pick it up. So we attached to the report, you'll see SNC has reached out to see if the municipality is interested in contributing another $500 to get an additional amount of trees, or double the amount of trees that would be available to our residents. We had our first environmental committee meeting last night, and this initiative was presented to the environmental committee, and it was received very well. In fact, I think the quote was, "There's never enough trees." So I think they were really satisfied. They would be happy to support, another $500 worth. So that's what the report's requesting tonight.
Questions, comments? I have a motion, let it resolve the Council Municipality of South Dundas contribute $500 from the General Working Reserve to match South Nation Conservation Commitment to the 2026 Community Tree Giveaway Program, thereby increasing the number of free trees available to South Dundas residents. Moved by Deputy Mayor St. Pierre, seconded by Councillor Ward. All in favor? Carried. F, PRF 2026-05, BGC SD&G Dunbar Facility Usage. So that's the Boys and Girl Club. So Director of Parks, Recreation Facilities, Director Jansen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So in front of you, a little update for you. They typically, Boys and Girls Club is a name that they've sort of been getting away with. They just go by BGC now. They put Boys and Girls Club in mostly as an identifier now, but
Okay.
they're hoping over generationally that they'll lose that title and sort of
BGC.
just go by BGC now. So
Okay.
just as a clarification there.
Thank you for that. That's good information. That's intentional. No.
That is intentional now.
Okay,
So
okay.
just to keep that going forward. But as council will remember, last year BGC did come out. They gave a delegation with regard to using Dunbar. As you can see in their presentation that they provided here, I didn't have them come back, but I did want some statistics for council to see and go through on the success that was their camp by everything they provided. They're looking at expanding this year. It's a great camp. They have a new leader coming in this year, so I'm excited to meet her here in the or him in the next couple weeks and sort of align things for the summer. But part of that process is just looking to use the facility and get free use of the facility again this summer. So this is just a replica of last year, and I do know that we started to have some conversations about some in-school usage as well. They're looking at possibly running some before and after care there for school. Obviously, that depends on their staffing and their abilities, but that conversation has also begun.
Excellent. Thanks, Director. And I think one of the comments that's in the PowerPoint, it was 100% of the parents felt their child was well supervised, which is probably the most important part of that program. So that's excellent to see and hear that. So any questions and comments? Councillor Ward?
Just a comment. So thank you for making sure that this continues. I got a lot of feedback actually from quite a few parents that had children in this program, and we're really appreciative of the extra space and the capacity it offered. Obviously, parents don't have all summer off. I wish we all did, but it offers that additional capacity that sometimes the municipality can't accommodate. So it's a great partnership, and I'm really happy to see that we're going to do it again and offer even more space and opportunities for our local youth to do something different all summer. So I'm in full support of the ask, and also am looking forward to it.
Very good. I have a motion. Let it resolve the Council Municipality of South Dundas supports the continued partnership with BGC Cornwall, SDG, to offer summer camp programming at Dunbar Hall. And the council approves the continued waiver of hall usage fees for the duration of the program. Moved by Councillor Ward, seconded by Councillor Vino. All in favor? Carried. Ink went dry. G, PRF 2026-06 donation requests. South Dundas Chamber of Commerce coming through from Director Jansen.
So thank you, Mayor Broad. As we're all fairly well aware, the Morrisburg Arena is going to see a little bit of change, hopefully this summer. This has caused a little bit of a change in the Chamber's approach to the trade show. So about the last 6 to 8 weeks, staff have been back and forth working with the Chamber, trying to help them pivot, plan a little bit of, it's a big event for them. It's a big event for the local businesses here to have the trade show. So looking at different halls, different venues, and working with their board. Ultimately, their board's decided to sort of go with a different date and a little bit more of an outdoor venue, but it is a little bit of a pivot from their original donation request. So typically we give them in-kind usage of the arena and a little bit of that. So now they're going to pivot to a little bit more of a financial contribution from the municipality to help support the outdoor event as well. So a lot of the in-kind support will still be there, but obviously it's a great event for the community and everything that the chamber does there. So looking at it, it's a fair price for a tent, and I think the event will be, reflect on it back to the Antique Home Week whenever I was a kid. I think it'll kind of give that vibe with the tent down by the waterfront. So hopefully it's a good success for them and a little bit of a change. Overall, I think the request is in line with some of the other donation requests that we have for other events as well. So outside that, I'll leave it to council if they have any questions.
Yeah, obviously when this topic first came up, the chamber president, Randy and I, and with CEO and yourself, threw a whole bunch of ideas around about, different halls, different venues or whatever. And one of the things was, hey, why don't we put a tent up? And kind of this is an interesting concept as, our staff and, typically we're there. I sit there and Home and Trade Show isn't as busy as it used to be. And this could be interesting, as Director Jansen said, for them making a little change, a different date, being outdoors, using the waterfront could be interesting. So. Any other questions, comments from the council team? Councillor Ward?
I have two questions. The first question is, why are they not going to use another municipal facility for free instead of asking us for cash? I don't know why they're not doing that.
So through you, Mayor Broad, we did take them out to tour a few municipal facilities, and I think location was a big factor for them, that they wanted to keep it in that location, and then size was also a factor as well. We couldn't offer a municipal facility that was quite the same size as the arena. They felt like obviously we went to Matilda Hall. The number of booths that they get in the arena, they were looking at 20%, 30% of that if they wanted to do it at Matilda Hall. So that's where we ended up looking for larger venues. So and I kind of left it to their board to decide their event ultimately and the direction they wanted to go.
Okay, can I ask
Yeah,
a
go
second
ahead,
question? Just for my own understanding, because I'm not involved in this process, but does a business have to pay for a booth?
Through you, Mayor Broad, yes, they do.
So can they not cover the cost of the $3,220?
Yeah, they certainly can.
What do they do with, sorry, can I follow up?
Yeah,
to
yeah, of
that?
course, yeah,
What do they
yeah.
do with that revenue? I guess is what I don't know either.
And so through you, Mayor Broad, obviously we don't know exactly what they do with their revenue, but I do know that moving outdoors, I have had conversations with them. So I don't think the tent is the only additional cost they're going to incur from moving the event outside. They're looking at some insurance, some security, some other aspects that are going to fall back on them outside of just the tent rental. So I do want to comment that I don't think they're coming in and looking for the entire coverage there. So it's just an aspect of the. But yes, they do charge per booth.
So I guess my comment is I've taken a stand on council that I don't think the tax base should be wholeheartedly responsible for supporting businesses to a greater extent. I'm okay with offering in-kind services, but this is a cash ask, and I'm not overly comfortable with it, especially if they make money off of the booths. That's my personal opinion. Like if it was, going to Matilda Hall or some other hall that we have, I think I'd be more comfortable with it. But and also it's coming after the grants and donations, and they knew the arena was going to be under construction. So to the deputy mayor's point earlier, like we literally just finalized budget, and this is an after budget request again. So I'm not overly comfortable with it, but that's my opinion. So.
Mayor, Councillor Reno?
Yep, through your mayor. I think it would be great to have it down at the water and change things up a little bit. I think it would be a very interesting event. However, I have to echo Councillor Ward. I'm not sure that the tax base should be paying for it. I know it said in our agenda package that the tent's not going to hold all of the booths that the arena did either, so they're going to have stuff outside. So there's no reason in my head that it couldn't be held at the Matilda Hall, where the inside stuff was inside and then you had some booths outside and whatnot as well. I know there's a big roll-up door at Matilda Hall. You can still get some tractors and stuff inside there. My fear here is that it's another one of those things that we start to have to fund every year. So it goes well down at the waterfront, and then every year we have to spend $3,000 funding it. And I don't want to go down that road anymore. And I feel like we have quite a few cases like this right now, or like that, I should say. So while I appreciate the event and everything that they do, I think maybe upping the cost to the vendors to cover the cost if they want to go that route, or go to another hybrid version at one of the venues that we can offer at no charge. So I would be against this funding request.
Dr. Jansen?
And through you, Mayor Broad, to council, so and completely hear everybody's opinion up here. I just wanted to sort of offer the compromise too would be that rather than giving them the full amount, we could turn the in-kind value of the arena rental for 5 days at $1,500 into a cash donation, and then they'd still be responsible for the other half. Just trying to find a little bit of a happy medium in there if council wanted to consider that as well.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, and through you, Mayor Broad. Just a quick question, and I understand the impacts, but are there not other user groups that use the arena in the summer that's getting affected? And if so, has anybody else come with a request to offset costs if they were going to incur additional costs? I'm just curious about that.
So through you, Mayor Broad, we do have the Ball Hockey League. I've worked with the Ball Hockey group to help them relocate to North Dundas. I kind of opened the door and then let them do their own negotiations. So I don't know exactly how those negotiations ended, but I implied that, hopefully that North Dundas could match the deal that we were giving. I don't know exactly how that ended, but so that would be the other user group that has been.
And they have committed to North Dundas. They are moving their ball hockey league to there, so, yeah.
Subsequent, if I may, thank you, and again through you. I tend to agree. I understand that the chamber wants to change up the event and stuff like that, and maybe this is an opportunity. Maybe Matilda isn't the best location. I don't know. I would think that maybe that is their best option, and I would have supported a hybrid option of in-kind for the Matilda, and then as Councilor Vino said, if they have some outdoor events or outdoor vendors, then, they have some additional costs. So it would bring their total cost down if they would maybe reconsider using the Matilda Hall versus just going out in the tent. And I believe that's been tried before. I believe at the MAC they used to have it in tents. I believe maybe not the Chamber, maybe the Antique Festival or something years ago, it was tried outside as well in the tents. And I think that's why things went back into the arena, because just having it in a closed facility just served a lot better. But that's up to them. That's not up to me whatsoever. But I do agree. I think if they're going to change and look for support, I think they should utilize our facility with a hybrid option of tents outside.
Okay, I have a motion, let it resolve that the Council of Municipality of South Dundas approve the request from the South Dundas Chamber of Commerce for financial contribution of $3,220 for tent rentals and provide in-kind support for the May 30th trade show. All in favor? All opposed? The motion is defeated. Okay, PRF 2026-07 municipal grass cutting and trimming 2026 to 2028. Director Jansen.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is for our municipal grass cutting contract. So it's a 2+1 contract, so guaranteed 2 years, an optional third year for both the contractor and the municipality. So if they are not wanting to continue with the contract, they can also opt out. And if we're not comfortable with moving forward, then we can opt out as well. We did break the previous contract into a lot more zones and did it geographically this time. So you'll see in there that I kind of did it based off of the size of equipment you'd need and geography. So I'll admit the smallest zone actually only has one parcel that you're cutting. I think the biggest one has about 13 or 14 different locations. We did get 12 bids. I'll be perfectly honest, I was looking to mix it up and get a few different contractors, and that is what we ended up getting here. So we have 2 different contractors successful in their bids. The prices are right around, like if I would have increased last year's price by 2%, we're almost dead on right where we, so the costs are about where I was expecting. They're a little bit reduced, which aligns with us bringing a little bit of that hybrid grass cutting in-house. So obviously we've pulled back a little bit, so there's a couple $100 per cut in savings there. So we are seeing that hybrid model. We are reaping a little bit of the benefit of it, so we're seeing a little bit of savings there, which is nice to see. I did reach out to Nick's Landscaping. We've worked with a little bit in the past. I know they did the Lookout platform here. They've done a little bit of landscaping and small projects for us throughout the municipality, so good relationship there. And then we've never worked with Sam and his crew, but I did have a good call with him, and we did reach out to his references. He's looking to expand his business into Eastern Ontario. He has he's done work with the County of Prescott-Russell, and he has a Catholic School Board contract here in Ottawa. So his Eastern region growth is coming along quite well, as he'll be doing some cutting here in South Dundas, and he's got a couple other plots. And I know we did the reference calls, and I also did a little bit of a scope call, and it was a good conversation. So outside of that, if council has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Questions, comments? Up here.
Yeah, thank you again through you, Mayor Broad. Yeah, so David, I'm fine with the tender results. I know last year there were some, we'll just call them some hiccups along the way. I just want to make sure that And I'm sure you're going to reinsure us that these hiccups that was felt last year is not repeated, and our flower beds don't get mowed over. And I do understand the hybrid. I understand the soccer club too had some concerns about the way their fields in Iroquois were grass. So I'll leave it in your good hands to ensure that that stuff kind of doesn't get repeated this year. So.
And so through you, Mayor Broad, I call it a little bit like the dating process here, but it's also on the same side for them. It's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. Ultimately, we've had the same grass cutting contractors for long periods of time here. Here we have 2 new grass cutting contractors coming in. So the little itty bitty bits of, do you trim that little corner over there and not that little, I think there's certainly going to be some little hiccups here in the spring. And but with the new contractors, I'm pretty confident that we'll grow a new relationship and we'll get it all going there, and then having the 2, we can play them off each other as well.
Sorry, just a subsequent. So do you just do you walk the fields and walk the areas with them and identify some of the key issues and the sensitive issue areas and whatnot? Just educate me a little bit on that.
Yeah, so typically I try and meet with the contractors about weekly, just see how they're doing, what's broken down, what's growing faster than we're expecting, what's growing. They see the growth rate better than we do. I can walk it, but the guy on the mower is seeing every acre of land of the 260 acres that we cut. So they're seeing all of it. So it's good to sit down and talk to them. And then, so we have that weekly meeting, and then outside of that, we try and go out and do basically a visual. I have a little checklist I'll hand out to somebody once every 2 weeks, and it's just random spot checks. You do the East region this week, and you go, it was cut 2 days ago, and then this wasn't trimmed, and you just call them out on a few things and try and maintain that quality control. Like I said, there's a little bit too much for us to go and inspect that every blade was cut, but you got to do your quality control checks throughout the year. So that's sort of how we have it set up.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? If not, I have a motion, let it be resolved that the Council of Municipality of South Dundas award tender PRF 2511 for grass cutting and trimming in the South Dundas within zones A through K as outlined, and that the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Facilities be authorized to sign any documents necessary to effect the contract. Moved by Councillor Vino, seconded by Councillor Ward. All in favor? Carried. FS 2026-06, 2026 cancel donations. Treasurer Stewart.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Broad. January 21st meeting, Council decided on what organizations would receive donations from the Grants and Donation Program. From there, staff have prepared a list, which is included in this report on the successful applicants, including the in-kind. So if Council is in agreement with the list provided, staff will go ahead and prepare letters to those affected, whether they were successful or not, saying next steps for them. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, a motion let it be resolved that the Council of Municipality of South Dundas accept the 2026 donation allocation list as presented in Schedule A. Moved by Councillor Vino, seconded by Deputy Mayor St. Pierre. All in favor? Carried. Bylaws 2026-12 fees and charges. Clerk LeBrun. Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor Broad, and to council. So this is our fees and charges bylaw. As council knows, we review this bylaw annually to ensure that our cost recovery for municipal services are covered. So there's a few changes in the administrative fee. So we've added our garbage bag tags and businesses can purchase boxes at a time to sell. So we've added those to our garbage fees, or re-added them, because I think at one point they got removed and now they're added back on for clarity and transparency. We've removed the dog tag licenses. Fire services added a $60 fee for file searches, which is common across other fees and charges. Most notably, there were mostly the changes under Parks and Rec, so I will likely defer any questions you might have to David, but there were changes under the Marina, a small 1% rate increase on wall rentals, plus a new referral program to attract new boaters. There's new pricing has been added for hall rentals, whether the event's staffed or unstaffed, which is in line with our municipal alcohol policy. Some minor adjustments were made to camp rates, taekwondo, and a new cancellation fee for participants who withdraw mid-program. Public Works, we added a fee for damage caused to municipal property, cost recovery line there. And there was a $50 fee added under Treasury, which is an administrative fee for property sales. And just to note that building fees are still under review, so that's going to come separately. It is part of this bylaw, but we're doing a fulsome review on that, so that will come at a later date. So if council has any questions for our individual departments with our fees, we're happy to answer them. Thank you.
When do the fees come into effect?
Once this is passed.
Arena fees for next season included in the 2026 budget revenue lines?
It's in the budget estimate, yes.
Questions, comments? All right, seeing none. Let it be resolved that the municipality of South Dundas adopt bylaw number 2026-12, being a bylaw to establish and amend fees and charges to be collected by various municipal departments, and repeal and replace bylaw number 2025-08. Moved by Councillor Vino, seconded by Councillor Ward. All in favor? Carried. Boards and committees. SDG Committee of the Whole meeting. So February 9th, Deputy Mayor and I were at Committee of the Whole meeting at the County Council building. We had a presentation from, won't mix up the names, Phil Duncan, in regards to tree planting, roadside tree planting on Long County roads, and how the effect is to help us with snow drifting and winter maintenance, and how those trees are planted and the sight lines, et cetera, et cetera. We had a counter presentation from Duncan Ferguson from the Glengarry Farmers Association that was a joint delegation from all the federations. We met with the Dundas Federation and the Stormont Federation versus have them all speak. They just brought their presentation together and discussed tree plantings and how it affects crops, affects sight lines, affects farms, and are totally against the idea of any tree planting on any county road along any farmland. So with that being said, no resolution that day other than we were going to pause the 2026 planting until we maybe formed a committee and got some more details. Kind of followed it up. We would still go ahead and order all the trees that we plan to plant, and we'll just plant them in one of the forests we have versus along the roadside. So we will continue along with our tree planting, but we'll work over the next couple of months, form a small committee just to figure out the exact and then align county council whether we're going to continue tree planting along farmland or not. So more to come on that. Cemetery Board, Councillor Smith is absent, so we'll skip over that. Morrisburg Waterfront Committee, Councillor Vino.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. Thank you. So we had a meeting last night. We're about an hour long. Spoke mostly about our budget and what we plan to do this year. One of the bigger items that we're looking to complete, we've already purchased most of the big pieces and whatnot, but is the Veterans Memorial Crosswalk, which we hope to do or plan to do in conjunction with the Cenotaph project. So that'll be a crosswalk from the Ball Diamonds over to the Earl Baker Park, and it'll be lit, have all the proper crosswalk stuff, so hopefully the kids and the families can get across that road a little bit easier. Director Jansen gave an update on the parking improvements that were approved in the budget this year for both waterfronts. Looking mostly like maybe some September action on that. It probably won't be done for this summer, but it's in the works. Spoke about our Christmas tree bonfire that went off very well again in Morrisburg, and we're looking ahead to next year And we have an interest to talk to the Iroquois Waterfront Committee about joining forces on that and potentially looking at something around the Loyalist Park near the Farlinger Farm and doing something as a bit of a joint venture there. And we thought that would be a fun idea. Outside of that, we're looking ahead to our Earl Baker Park, the multi-use pad. It seems that the ice rink that's been built there this year has been extremely busy, and it's nice to see. And so we're really hopeful to get some shovels in the ground on that maybe this year with our funding that we're looking towards. And Director Jansen gave us an update also on that our matching program was approved in budget. So did I miss anything, Director? Perfect.
Thanks, Councilor Reno. Deputy Mayor St. Pierre, Iroquois Waterfront?
Yeah, I'll let Director Jansen take that one. I was still a little not feeling the
under the
greatest
weather.
there, so I missed that meeting.
That is going around. Director?
Well, with the deputy mayor not there, we had a very productive meeting. I kid. No, we had a nice group. So what we started the year with in January is we had a couple of the old concept plans. We put them together and sort of pulled a lot of the action items out of it. Started out as a 18-page document. At the January meeting, we got that down to about 9. So I'd say about 3/4 of our meeting was spent going down those 9 pages. And we kind of broke it down. I haven't done the minutes yet, but I think we got it down to about 10 to 12 action items now with varying timelines. Some of them a little bit more aspirational. Some of them like, hey, let's try and get this done this year. So I think it was a really good meeting that we sort of worked through the document and we're just sort of lining ourselves up to make sure that we come in with a good strategy for this year. So that was the bulk of the meeting there. Outside of that, similar to Morrisburg Waterfront Committee meeting, we had a little bit of a discussion on the bonfire, some of our events, planning out some of the Arboretum stuff and expanding that, talking about some of the projects there. But the bulk of it was sort of narrowing down on some of the budget items. So I think one of the biggest ones that we're looking at probably this year is the possibility of putting in some of the fitness style of playground equipment. And we were talking about whether you spread it out over the path or you just sort of put it in a localized little spot and make sort of an outdoor gym. And then there was a few other discussions that we had. I know we got in a little tangent on some feature artwork and stuff like that, and it was cool to have the discussion, and the committee's looking into lots of cool things there. So,
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, just to follow up on that one, we do have a committee member that has stepped down, sent in her resignation, Peggy Jamert. Okay, close. She's been a long-time member. She's been our secretary for quite a while, so we'll have to get a certificate for her and honor her at the next upcoming meeting. So we'll miss Peggy. She kept it moving pretty good for us, that's for sure. So just want to recognize her.
Okay, F, South Nation Conservation Authority, Councillor Smith, we'll get him next time. G, Library Board meeting, so Baron Chrysler, this is more of a county thing, but I always like to highlight because of the 3 libraries in Morrisburg. Certainly statistics are stable or up from 2025, which is really good. A lot of borrowers and use and all the activities within our libraries is excellent. And we passed our 2026 communication marketing plan, our Maker Lab technology operational plan. So that's all good as we keep moving the library system ahead and forward. So lots of activities in Williamsburg, Iroquois, and Morrisburg. Great to see. And I did back in December. I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned it in past ones, but we had the author Michael Saver, who wrote the Lost Village novel. It's like a murder mystery, but it's setting in the tent village of Iroquois. So when he talks about the post office and this building, it's actually Iroquois. So if you're reading the book, you can imagine being Iroquois. And his presentation was really cool because he had a video or a slideshow of all the buildings he used to write the story. So that was kind of interesting. And those are just things the library does. And there's authors every month coming. So continue to promote the library board. SG County Council meeting yesterday. We really had one delegation, one item. City of Cornwall shared their joint service budget, which City of Cornwall used the strong mayor powers, so they delivered the budget to us. So there was no negotiation on the budget, but they did give us an update on where we stood. One interesting thing, kind of to note, is the city did draw down on the reserves to fund a bunch of the services that we share with them. So obviously, you can't continue to do that long-term, but at least for now, the budget was somewhat stable. So anything to add, Deputy Mayor, on that one?
Yeah, the only other one that kind of caught my ears when Mayor Fraser, Councillor Fraser, I guess at the county level, was asking about our DFibs and where they're located, because we had the chief from the ambulance service there doing a presentation, and maybe that's just something that we want to.
I can answer that.
Okie dokie.
Yep. So last fall or last spring, I had asked the chief of the CEO to look into it, and the fire department keeps track of a list where all their DFibs are, and they're inspected, and they're not locked behind any doors. So we have that
So
in place.
is that list like kind of on our websites and whatnot that we can remind general public? That's where I was going.
Okay, that's
with it.
where- sorry, yeah.
But
No,
no,
we
I'm
have the
glad.
list.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
you
yeah.
for doing that. I'm
Yeah,
just wondering if
yeah.
we shouldn't. Again, just as it come fresh in our mind, re-promote that and where they're located and.
Yeah, good point. Because the Bill Lister mentioned that they're going to start replacing the AADs, and that's going to be. It was on a grant system 10 years ago, and it's going to be now through the budget.
Yeah,
So,
what do you say? Every eighth DFib was funded.
Yeah.
So now we're going to
yeah.
be paying for
But
that.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I just thought maybe it'd be nice to get a list, refresh everybody's memory of where they're at, and
Yep.
just February was.
And otherwise, our second roads tender came in, and this one was hot and cold resurfacing, and it came, now it's a little bit shared with the Prescott Russell Road, but it came under budget by $452,000 on the tender level. So obviously we'll see how it plays out the final cost, but obviously there's some adjustments can be made through the oil charge, what do you call that? The
AC.
AC
index.
AC index, right? So more to come on that. Yeah, okay, and then Environmental Advisory Committee, Councillor Ward.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So we had our first meeting last night. Great attendance. We have a great crew. We have a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. So right off the hop, we are good to go. We talked a lot about kind of the terms of reference. So we got through the terms of reference, and I believe it's coming back to council to officially approve. But the committee was able to give feedback on that terms of reference and how they see their little stint here, because it won't be very long, but there are a couple months that it will be with us and how that will shape moving forward. And then they were also discussing an Earth Day kind of event. So that's coming up, I think it's April 22nd, but looking at the either the Saturday before or the Saturday after to kind of do some tree giveaways with SNC, a rain barrel kind of initiative maybe, and some other things, all at no cost to obviously the municipality to do, but within the committee, we would offer that. So more to come on that. But yeah, and our next meeting is in March. So yeah.
Very good. Any other committees or meetings? Just a quick one. We did have a meeting this morning. The CAO, DeHaan, CEO Maureen Adams, and the warden Frank Landry that came this morning. And we just gave them an update of everything going on in South Dundas for two reasons. One, upcoming delegations and things we're working on so he can advocate for us and be part of our delegation. So he may join us at Good Roads if we have any delegations. The second thing is we want to tell a lot of our stories, our success stories. So he has an opportunity when he's in all the communities to have stories to share. So met with the warden and gave him a full update this morning. So he's good to go on that. So, okay, consent agenda. 10A, KR water rates amended schedule. B, Roma 2026. C, information key from building stats. D, newsletter Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus. E, letter South Nation Conservation Bill 68. F, correspondent South Nation Conservation Project. And that was, I think, what Councillor Smith last meeting wanted to talk about. So we'll make sure we talk about that one next time. G, correspondent South Nation Project update. H, resolution Township of Brunel, Lidoc, Lagan, support for steel lumber sector. And I, resolution Township of Brunel, Lidoc, Lagan, justice and protective Canada's children. I have a motion, let it resolve that all the items on the consent agenda be received and filed to information purposes. Moved by Councillor Ward, seconded by Councillor Vino. All in favor? Carried. All right, discussion items. 11A, key information report, casual bylaw job description. Director Jansen, CEO DeHaan.
Yeah, so thank you, Mayor and Council. So in front of you is just a job description. It's not very often here in South Dundas that we're making brand new positions, but this is for the casual bylaw officer to help with some of the park use bylaw enforcement. So that's where you're seeing it come from myself here. We've been working with the bylaw team here to come up with a new job description. Job descriptions do get reviewed by council. So this is just to provide council the opportunity to provide any feedback or anything you're looking for. Obviously, it's not as encompassing of a job description as our full-time position, but pared down a little bit. From there, we'll work with our third-party consultant there and get the hourly rate put into our grid in the correct position. And then, so we're hopeful that that'll happen here in the next week or so, and then we can start advertising for the job here in March. And I know I've spoken to both of the waterfront committees that we'll look to get either 1 or 2 people hopefully into the position this summer, 2 giving us a little bit more flexibility, but it's a casual on-call position, so it's all based on the number of hours they work anyway, so it just gives us a bit more availability hopefully. But if council has any comments, we'll work them in.
Councillor Vito.
Just one comment, it's just some kind of along the lines of what we talked about at our waterfront committee last night, as we did discuss this briefly, but just for council's knowledge, I guess, and the people watching it, we discussed kind of, you know, how severe the bylaw officers are to take, you know, the bylaw, or how serious to take the bylaw as it's written. And we discussed about having, you know, whenever Director Jansen inevitably hires people like this, about kind of educating these new positions on the spirit of the bylaw, not so much taking it maybe word for word exactly, but just trying to make sure that we exercise the spirit of the bylaw, and why we wrote it was, you know, not to be super punitive, and, you know, unless we absolutely have to, but, and the education piece up front before, you know, going straight for fines and stuff. So
Yeah, it's about the compliance, not punitive. Piece,
Exactly,
right? So I
yeah.
think that's a good
so that
comment.
was a comment from the committee.
Sure, of course. Yeah, that's good. All right. I think it's well written, Director, and I think move ahead. Okay, 11B, information report, Dundas County Hospice donation request. Clerk LeBrun.
Thank you, Mayor Broad, and to council. So Dundas County Hospice was at our last council meeting on February 4th requesting a $4,000 annual donation for 5 years, amounting to $20,000. This funding would help sustain and expand their equipment lending program, which provides free loans of medical equipment, wheelchairs, walkers, lift chairs, bed rails, things like that, to residents of North Dundas, South Dundas, and surrounding areas. So unfortunately, Dundas County Hospice had missed the December 23rd deadline. However, we've presented some options to council for discussion. So the first option would be to approve as requested. We would recommend that the first drawing would come from general reserves, and then moving forward, it come from our, we would budget it under grants and donations. Our second option would be for council to give us an alternative amount. And of course, option 3 would be to defer it to 2027. We understanding that it's definitely a worthy cause, and but staff are prepared to take whatever direction council would like to give us, and happy to communicate that as well with Dundas County Hospice.
Yeah, thanks, Clerk Rund. So got 2 things. So thanks for following up from the last meeting. So we asked us to bring it back so we can discuss it. I think the option 3 could be kind of another option, or option 4, as something I was thinking about. Kind of 2 things. One is they have the same request to 3 things. They have the same request to North Dundas, so I'd like to communicate with their office to see what they're potentially recommending or doing. Second thing is we are actively, CEO Dahana and myself, working with JW McIntosh and Dundas Manor to get delegations in front of us at Good Roads. We talked to Minister Quinn this morning about that and who we speak to. So those are some opportunities. We want to continue that discussion. Thirdly, we could accept the proposal, add it to our list, but not fund it until we have more information, whether we have surplus or we have more data. We know what North Dundas is doing. So we are thinking of the deferral, but maybe we look at it in a few months if we do have some surplus, or if we have other options to fund. So that was kind of one of the options I was thinking as well. So I don't know what everybody else may think about or like to do. Councilor Vito?
Through you, Mayor, and to your one point, that's exactly what I was going to ask, is about, you know, they serve North and South Dundas and surrounding areas. Maybe this is somewhere where we need to get together as a group and see what their needs are and what all the not that we have to do exactly what other municipalities do, but it'd be good for context to see, you you know, what they're looking at doing, or maybe we can do something together, share the burden. I think I would be in favor of kind of deferring this to see maybe if we have some funding, like to your
Right.
idea there. I like that, and see if we have some surpluses down the road, because again, this is another ask that is kind of coming out of
Yeah, no, of course.
left field,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah.
wasn't here for the last meeting,
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm not
that's
sure how
exactly-
that
yeah.
all went, but that's
Yeah.
my opinion.
Any other comments, Councilor Ward?
Yeah, so I agree. I do know that it did go to North Dundas, and I think they alluded to that in their meeting, that it was committed. So like I think that North Dundas, I don't want to speak on their behalf, but I think just based on the delegation, that was kind of the information that was presented there. That was what I interpreted. So I mean, I would like to match whatever North Dundas is giving. So if it's 4,000, great. If it's not, then I think that's whatever it is we could match. I just wanted to say that I think this is important because this does directly benefit the tax base, and we're not, this isn't a capital purchase that is assisting many people down the road. So it's something that I would like to see us try and fit in. And I like that it's not a 20,000 ask all at once. It's over 5 years, 4 years,
Yeah.
5 years, 5 years. So I appreciate that as well. So I would be in support of, like you said, Mayor, like that fourth option is just putting it in the budget and waiting till we get more information just to award that amount would be what I would say.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, thank you, and through you. I guess I had a little bit of a different option. I do agree we should sit down with North Dundas and let's collaborate on the amounts we're both funding. I would have been okay with the initial ask this year of the $4,000, and then that gives us time afterwards to see how we deal with it over the next 4 years, I guess, if it's $20,000. So I was kind of okay with the 4,000 this year. I think I expressed that at the delegation. Everybody's heard my passion on North and South Dundas social organizations like this, like the JW, like House of Lazarus. I know that we've been involved indirectly, helping them, not through funding requests, but through helping them sometimes with their events and stuff. So I'm very passionate about that. I think as much as I'd like to say that this should be a provincial or even a federal funded opportunity for them, or they should be funded through them. I guess not opportunity is a bad word, but should be funded through them. I think we have to recognize that they're local and they're not going to get all funded through the province or the federal government. So I'm okay with the initial 4,000 as part of their initial request, and then I was going to kind of lean towards the hybrid option of yours. Let's figure it out moving forward. So that's where I would land on it.
I mean, we could just bring it back in a couple weeks when we know for sure what North Dundas. I was unclear, Councillor Ward. Yeah. At the next meeting or two, we could approve it then.
Okay,
easily.
That's fine.
So
I mean,
I'm
I'm kind of hearing that we're kind of committed to something, and I'm okay with that, deferring for the next couple
Let's
meetings.
put it in our
Okay.
list and let's confirm
Sounds
North
good.
Dundas's amount and what their thoughts are, and then
Sounds good. I like that. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
you'll bring it back. Okay, very good. 11C, Key Information Work 2026 Collaborative Recruit Training. CEO Don.
Thank you, and I'll keep this one relatively brief, but just wanted to, and it's been actually covered very well in media so far within the region. So you've probably seen some of this coverage in some of the local papers that are around in SDNG, but wanted to bring it in front of council formally just to make sure that council has that opportunity to comment on it. If there's, I think it's a great news story in terms of the effort between ourselves, North Dundas, North Stormont, and South Glengarry, looking to collaboratively train our recruits. So here in South Dundas, we've welcomed 12 recruits to our fire service in 2026. We have a mix of people that are fully qualified and and then some that are brand new. All of them come with the great spirit of wanting to serve the community. So it's quite, as council is well aware, it's quite a quite an undertaking to become certified as a firefighter. There's a lot of learning, a lot of commitment associated with that, and sharing the burden of that training with these municipal partners is just a great way to be able to really focus in on the things that are assigned to us and deliver high quality training, and then work with our neighbors to do the same. So all around a good news story. A highlight for council, just so you're aware, late April, early May is when we were actually doing the training here in South Dundas, and we got selected for the live fire training, which I'd argue is probably the best one to have in terms of the excitement and actually the kind of the practicality of that experience. So I know we have quite a team, coordinators, lead instructors, and our personnel who are taking the bull by the horns and really wanting to make sure we deliver great training to those recruits from across SDNG. So that's essentially what this report is about, is just to be able to give council that opportunity to say anything that they want to with respect to that. So thank you.
Yeah, no, that's great. Continued collaboration with our partners at the lower tier. So that's great, and keeps our costs down and builds relationships and friendships throughout the lower tiers. It's very good. Thanks for the update. Councillor Ward?
I just wanted to say that I'm really proud that this initiative is happening. Like, it's been a long time coming, and what a success story. Wish it would transpire into other areas, like, infrastructure perhaps, or something like that one day, but super proud of not only our fire department and the leadership there, but also super proud of all the leadership in SDNG that got together and made this happen. The cost savings, I'm assuming one day will amount to be quite a bit, and we're getting more uptake and more interest in actually being a part of the fire department, which alone is a great whatever you want to call it, check mark, I guess.
Yes,
so
benefit.
Thank you
Yes.
for leading that, and thank you for leading them, and thank you to the leadership team in the fire department for also making sure that this happens. So thank you.
Well, I do know the deputy mayor and I have been relentless about saying the word collaboration at county council every meeting for 3.5 years. And it's starting to wane on other councillors, and they're talking more and more about it in different areas because they really see how we could benefit working together more, for sure. Deputy mayor?
Yeah, thank you. And I don't know, we've been hanging out too much because I was thinking the same thing. And it's a positive message. And I think it's a message we got to continue passing along. I was, and I'm sure you're going to talk about it in a little bit, but I went to the Iroquois breakfast. I know Councillor Ward was there and you were there, and separate times, I think. Yeah, I ran into you for 30 seconds, but talked with some of the firemen at Iroquois, and super happy, love the direction we're going, likes the training, like super happy. And that's the positive feedback we continuously want to hear, although we want to hear when it's not positive as well, so we can improve. But I've heard a lot of positive things, so congratulations, and just keep it going and keep moving. And I'm sure, Councillor Vino, you're a little bit more direct with it now with being auxiliary, so I'm hoping you're hearing the same thing as well.
Good, right on.
And if I may, I don't want to take credit for things I have not done, but this train kind of started on this track a long time, well before I became acting chief. But credit is due to those that are participating and those before me that really set this up for success.
No, that's good. Thank you for that. I guess a brief update on D, Key Infrastructure Campground.
Yeah, so and I know I think I gave council a brief heads up, but this is really for everybody to hear. We've heard back from the Iroquois Campground, I'm going to call it representatives, and they're actually kind of looking to a different model. The lease, looking to that lease arrangement that we had previously talked about around the council table. As they've been going through, I think we're recognizing maybe that's not I think maybe it's too big of a step at this point in time. I don't necessarily want to take it off the table forever, but rather let's recalibrate and take a look at things that would improve the camping experience. So what I guess for council's information, we're not, they've said, no, we don't want to pursue the lease option at this point in time, which is good from a staff perspective, because now we have some certainty in terms of our staffing and how we move forward into next year. Really what they would like to work with the municipality on, which I think we have every reason to engage with this group, is modernization, I'm going to call it, within the campground. Things like, how do we work together to try and avoid transient campers that may come in and out without actually paying their fees, the appropriate fees, because of course we're not staffing that 24/7 realistically, and nor can, I mean, we can get to that point, but then it costs money and then you got to charge more. So how do we work together to actually resolve some of that? Because I can appreciate it's an irritant for people that spend their money, set up there, and then maybe see people that are coming in and out without spending money, or dumping in the septic facility without actually having that permission and paying that fee. Long-standing issue, which Director Jansen and I have more recently talked about again, is the electrical power distribution within the campsite. It's when it was built, campers were not what they are today, which is essentially a home on wheels and with a higher electrical demand. So, it is something that's been on the municipality's radar for for a while already, and we have been building up a reserve to be able to address that. And we're actually at a point now with the reserve where we're relatively healthy. So we'll have that discussion, revisiting kind of how we can start tackling that. And then, simple things about just how do we more actively kind of communicate with an advisory committee of that campground, so that, they know that they're being heard and that we care about what's going on there. And we have reminded the camper, this group, that although we certainly appreciate the feedback input, and we want to hear that input, absolutely, this type of facility does compete with all the other infrastructure we have in the municipality. And as much as I'd love to say we can provide the best service out there all the time, I think we're doing a disservice to the rest of the municipality if that's where our entire focus is. And that message is not lost on this group. So I do feel we're turning a corner in terms of how we can work together, and hopefully this is just another step in terms of how we engage our clients and move forward. So
Very good. No, thanks for the update. And, I like the ideas where we have thoughts and ideas and we explore them, right? So it's yes, and if we get to know or something different, or we actually find out really what the needs are, that's great if we get there. So I think that's good, right? And, a few years ago we talked about, should we own a campground or not, right? And opportunities come and go, and we'll continue the path we're currently on. So I appreciate the work and the time you guys have put in. Director Jansen?
Yeah, so just to continue with what CAO DeHaan added there, so I do suspect it's the council will see. I know we talked about it 2 budget cycles ago whenever we built the new campground garage there, and that reserve has built. It builds for a reason. There are visions that we all have there. So I do foresee in the future here, I'll come back to council with an update on a few of maybe some extra budget things that we didn't put in the budget because we didn't have the complete certainty, and now we have the certainty. So I'll bring those back as we work with the camping group there and determine what those are. So I'll bring those back to council here in the next couple months.
Good. Very good. Okay, and 11E is scratched from our agenda. CO DeHaan.
Yeah, just I guess for the public record, we did identify some public meeting dates in that report. And of course, because we're not talking about it around the council table today, those will not take place. We'll select some new dates when we talk about it, because we wanted to make sure we had council's input before we actually met with the public. So
Okay, very good. Thanks for that. Okay, 12, notice of motion. Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm not sure if it's a formal notice of motion or rather just looking for some feedback. I would like to reach out to either the school board trustee for our area, both Catholic and public, as well as the Student Transportation of Eastern Ontario. I've been getting some feedback from some parents about some rural bus cancellations that are occurring outside of inclement weather. So their children are not receiving adequate transportation to school. It's canceled more than once a week, and those children, their parents are already gone for the day, so they're struggling to figure out how to get their kids to school. So I'm just looking for some information from those bodies to see how we can maybe advocate. I'm just not sure why it's not working or what's going on. I have reached out to them via email. I just haven't received a response. So perhaps if it comes from the township or the municipality, it might carry a little bit more weight. So I think if we could have them come in. And I don't think we've had the school board trustee come in and kind of give an update ever. So might be just a good way to also start that as well.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, thank you. Through you, Councillor, I'm not convinced you're going to get an answer. As we know, the minister's office is looking at trustee reform. There's a lot of uncertainty right now about the trustees. I know we, as an ad hoc committee, our chair has tried to reach out to the school boards directly with no response, and we pass that, I guess, frustration on to the minister's office as well. If you want, I can bring that back to the chair as well. That I'm not saying we shouldn't try. I'm just I'm being very public here to say that there has been some lack of communication when our committee has tried to reach out to certain representatives. So, I mean, I'd certainly be willing to talk to Chair Jeff Manley about that as well, and bringing that to his attention to see if we could do that at a county level. Totally up to you guys if that's what you would like to see, but certainly I agree with you. We should get some answers, but I'll leave it to you to see if you want me to try to
Yeah, no, I think,
steer
I
that
think
a
you and
little
your
bit.
committee have the best avenue to get to the trustee in that way. But maybe we could, though, follow up with Steel, right? Minimally, like to talk about bus cancellations within our district, not for weather, right? And maybe we can get them from Steel, at least of what happened or what their reasons are.
Yeah, fair point, because we're not talking with the school
Yeah, so that,
transportation.
definitely we should do that, because that's a direct impact. So, other thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think that would be good if we could at least reach out to Stu, and then if you wouldn't mind,
You
Deputy
want to
Mayor,
pass
doing
on
that.
your email and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
That'd be
absolutely.
awesome.
And
We're
then,
more than willing to help, yeah.
Yeah, and then just reach out to Steo, because I think it'd be a good opportunity if they need some assistance. Perhaps we can help advocate for the reason why they're not offering that level of service. So just hoping for some feedback from them.
Right. And lots of headlines about buses and schools and funding all around, so, very good. Okay, any other notes of motion? Resolution, ratification, let it resolve that the bylaw 2026-13, being a bylaw to adapt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with resolution, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed. Moved by Councillor Ward, seconded by Councillor Vino. All in favor? Carried. And let it resolve that Council of South Dundas adjourn to call the chair at 7:23 p.m. Moved by Councillor Ward, seconded by Deputy Mayor St. Pierre. So as we bring our meeting to a close for Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, just a couple quick comments. One is just want to thank all the community members that are out there doing winter activities. You know, we had the fireman's breakfast, as the Deputy Mayor talked about, and lots of snowmobile activities and people in that, but most specifically, the 4 outdoor arenas, Williamsburg, the Matilda, Iroquois, and then the Morrisburg skating pad. Great winter to have ice, and thank you to all those volunteers in all those areas that continue to make those happen for the kids. So, yeah, just want to say thank you to those members. So, with that, we'll say goodnight from South Dundas.